Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Aaron's Book Club. I have another book review to do today, and it was very far removed from what I usually read. And I'm going to go into this saying this was a very uncomfortable read. So, the book review I have to do today is Seven Fallen Feathers by Tanya Talaga. I hope I said that right. This was a advanced reading copy that I got years ago, and I found kind of intimidating to pick up. So basically, it is a nonfiction account of seven deceased Aboriginal people in the North, and how Canada has basically dealt with that and with how we treat the Aboriginal people in general. And I first read the book, and I have to admit, I got my backup because it's you go into it 100% a non. It wasn't a non-biased account of these stories. It was 100% biased to the Aboriginal, and it was very much 100% the white folk are all bad, these Aboriginal are perfect, they do nothing wrong, and the only wrong that they do is because of the white folk. And I got my back up at first. And then I was able to kind of look past my pride in reading this book, look past the attack of the white folk in reading this book, and understand truly where they were coming from. And if the information is to be believed that is put in this book, now again, because it's a like a advanced reader's copy, all of the notes and research material is not in the book. It's just cited, but it's not actually put in the book. So if, barring me doing my own research, if this is all to be believed, 100% the view and the outlook of this author is valid and actually more fair than I think I would be in the same situation. And I myself know nothing of what is being dealt with and handled at the up north with the Aboriginal people. And it was a real eye opener to be considered, to be treated with housing that don't have indoor plumbing and water that is toxic on a land that belonged to them originally, that we took away from, and then we have the gall to call them savages and treat them indiscriminately and racially poorly, is not okay. Not okay. And at first, I was trying to have a hard time, or trying to find a reason to have a hard time believing the accounts of the police officers treating Aboriginal people in a, you have less value than everybody else kind of way. And I can't even stand by that, because even in the white society, our own police officers treat each other differently, even based on how much people make. It doesn't necessarily have to be color. So yeah, I totally believe how police officers would be treating these kids. The whole concept of the residential schools and what these kids had to go through, traumatizing and sad. The book itself is just, it's sad, it's aggravating, it's eye-opening, and just I'm ashamed of how our country has dealt with this. And there shouldn't be this kind of struggle for justice for these folks. And there shouldn't be this kind of outlook still going on right here. Like the whole concept of killing the savage and the Indian, and training them to be like white folk, because white folk are so much better, and we're so much better that we're going to save these savage Indians because they don't do stuff that the way we do them, therefore it's not accurate and it's not correct, and by our highly lord said that they have to be saved. And saving involves stealing children from their parents, totally repressing the culture that they have pride of learning, and put in our own culture, because our own culture obviously is so much better to these folk who we stole the land from, and then have the nerve to say they're savages. And they come from reserves who they're not exposed to even fast food restaurants, which we take for granted, and thrown into an environment completely by themselves, and then we wonder why they get drunk and die. It just, And in my personal opinion, I don't think they're just falling into these rivers. I'm thinking that somebody is pushing them into rivers and making sure that they do go away. And it's not right. It the book is difficult. The book is difficult, and it's hard to read, but it's so well written, and it's so soulful, and it's so impactful that it sticks with you. And that uncomfortable feeling doesn't go away. And even the end, the uncomfortable feeling doesn't go away. And it's even articulated so well by one of the family members who once they went through everything and went through the proper channels, and the proper channels are over, and again it goes to more recommendations, that they've done recommendations up your rear and nothing has ever gone through with these recommendations. Like, it's a frustrating read, but it's a good read. And I believe every single Canadian should be reading these kind of things, and not just disregarding this as, well, they're Indians, they're up north, they enjoy being on the land, they don't need stuff like we do. Or they're Indians, they have their own culture, they don't need a school like we do. It's not the right kind of outlook. I think we should be more trying to communicate with them, understanding what their culture is and what would best suit them as a teaching medium, as a school medium, based on what they believe. We can mingle the two beliefs, we can mingle the two cultures, but this whole, you know, we are better than they are, therefore they need to follow our standard, is not okay. And it's a difficult read, but I think everybody should read it. But thank you very much, and I will let you know when I have another book read, guys.